Welcome back, Warner fam. Today, I'm diving into a 2025 dark comedy splatter horror film, The Monkey. So hold on tight and keep your eyes wide open. This one's a wild ride. The movie kicks off in 1999. Petey Shelbourne, a pilot, stumbles into a pawn shop. He's drenched in blood, clutching a creepy toy monkey that bangs a drum. Petey tells the shop owner it's cursed. When this monkey bangs its drum, everyone's going straight to hell, he warns. The monkey starts its tune. Everything goes silent for a second. Then a mouse gnaws through a wire, setting off a chain reaction. A statue holding a harpoon gun gets knocked, firing straight at the shop owner. The harpoon rips through him, pulling his intestines out as it retracts. Petey, desperate, grabs a flamethrower and tries to melt the cursed monkey before it can do more damage. Petey leaves his wife, Lois, and their twin sons, Hal and Bill. Hal, now older, tells the story about how he and Bill never got along. Hal was always shy, and Bill, he was a bully. Their mom, Lois, didn't help much. She often shared her bitter views on life with her sons, making everything feel even darker. The boys find the monkey hidden among their father's things. The box has the words, "like life," written on it, and they think it's just supposed to say lifelike. Hal winds up the key on the monkey's back, but nothing happens. Later, their babysitter Annie takes them to a hibachi restaurant. Hal leaves the monkey in the car. Inside, while they're eating, the toy begins to play its drum tune. When it stops, something terrible happens. The hibachi chef, who had been flirting with Annie, accidentally decapitates her with his spatula. Her head lands on the grill, sizzling. At school, Bill gets the other kids to bully Hal because he's always carrying the monkey. Frustrated and upset, Hal decides to use the monkey to get back at Bill. He winds the key, waiting for something to happen. Later, Bill comes home to find Lois baking a cake. But once the monkey finishes its tune, something horrifying happens. Lois starts bleeding from every part of her face and collapses to the floor, dead. Adult Hal explains that she died from a boomerang aneurysm. Bill, heartbroken, tries to wake his mom at the funeral. In his grief, Hal makes a decision. He's going to destroy the monkey by chopping it into pieces. The boys are sent to live with their Uncle Chip and Aunt Ida. But the monkey shows up again, still in one piece. Bill doesn't believe the monkey is the cause of all the deaths, so he turns the key one more time. Later, during a camping trip, disaster strikes. A stampede of wild horses tramples Uncle Chip to death while he's in his sleeping bag, leaving him a bloody mess. The boys, now terrified, decide to lock the monkey back in its box and toss it down a well, hoping it will never hurt anyone again. 25 years later, Hal is living alone. He has a son, Petey, but he only sees him once a year. Hal is terrified that Petey might end up hurt, or worse. When Hal goes to pick up Petey for their week together, he learns something shocking. His ex-wife and her new husband, Ted Hammerman, tell him that Ted is adopting Petey. They explain that it would be better if Hal stopped being part of Petey's life. Aunt Ida now lives alone. One day, she goes into her basement, but the stairs give way and she crashes down, getting fish hooks stuck all over her face. She tries to treat herself with rubbing alcohol, but hears something strange coming from the stove. Curious, Aunt Ida leans closer, and the stove suddenly lights up, setting her entire head on fire. Panicked, she runs out of the house, but in her rush, she slams face first into a sharp "for sale" sign. Later, her things are sold at an estate sale, and among them is the monkey. It's picked up by Ricky, the quiet son of a local police officer who spends most of his time alone. Hal takes Petey to a motel on their way to a horror-themed amusement park. While there, Petey asks about his family for a school project on family trees. Hal lies and says he never had a brother, but he does tell Petey about Lois. Later that night, Hal gets an unexpected call from Bill, who he hasn't heard from in years. Bill tells Hal that the monkey is back and that Hal needs to go to Ida's house to settle her estate. As Hal steps outside, a fan falls into a puddle of water, slowly seeping into the pool. A woman is about to swim, but before Hal can warn her about the electrified water, she jumps in and boom, she explodes from the shock. Hal realizes the monkey has been reactivated. He rushes to wake up Petey, telling him they need to leave right away. Hal and Petey arrive at Ida's house, but Petey isn't happy to find out from the cheerful real estate agent Barbara that Hal has a brother. Inside the house, Barbara starts talking about the strange accidents that have happened in town since Ida's death. She opens a closet door, and out falls a shotgun, firing and blowing Barbara to pieces. A piece of her body even lands in Hal's mouth, a fingertip that makes him gag in horror. It turns out that Bill has been the one activating the monkey all along. He hired Ricky to get it for him, hoping the toy would finally kill Hal, believing that Hal's turning the key caused their mother's death. In his twisted plan to kill Hal, Bill ends up causing the deaths of innocent people. Bill decides to have Ricky kidnap Hal and Petey, hoping to force Petey to turn the key and kill his own father. Meanwhile, the monkey continues its deadly streak, causing Hal's co-worker, Dwayne, to choke on his vape pen and die. Ricky kidnaps Hal and Petey, bringing them to Bill's place. Petey goes inside to meet Bill, navigating through a bunch of booby traps, while Ricky keeps Hal in the car, holding him at gunpoint. While scratching his head, Ricky accidentally fires the gun, hitting a wasp's nest. The angry wasps burst out and swarm straight into Ricky's mouth, tearing through his face. Hal, desperate to stop Bill, runs into the building, but Bill's furious. He demands that the monkey kill Hal, even trying to force its arm to play the drum. The monkey starts banging the drum so fast that the ground shakes. Outside, Bill watches in horror as a plane crashes into the town, killing a huge part of the population. After everything calms down, Hal tries to talk to Bill, hoping to apologize for what happened with their mother. After a long pause, Bill decides to forgive Hal and tries to make things right, hoping they can be a real family. But then, the monkey's arm hits the drum again, setting off one last deadly trap. A bowling ball shoots out and crushes Bill's head. Hal and Petey leave the place in silence, knowing there's no going back. Hal and Petey drive through the wrecked town, the monkey sitting quietly in the back seat. Everywhere they look, bodies are sprawled across the streets, a haunting reminder of the chaos left behind. As they stop at a red light, a pale man on a white horse rides past their car, his face emotionless, almost like the embodiment of death itself. He invites Petey to go dancing, just like Lois used to love doing. Petey, in a strange calm, agrees. They drive off, and as they pass by a bus full of cheerleaders, a truck barrels down next to them, its driver unaware as it decapitates every single one of them. What would you do if you found a cursed toy like the monkey? Would you destroy it, or try to figure out how to stop it? Let me know in the comments. So if you liked this, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more recaps. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Warner Movie Recaps.